Well, viewers, we are on our way to interview an amazing woman called Tess Burrows who lives in a village called Hammervale. And here is her amazing little cottage called Plumtree Cottages. There's Mary's house. Look at that. You've just returned from the South Pole. Well, not just returned. But did you ever think you could ever have achieved what you did in the South Pole?
Oh golly, not really. It's one of those impossible things that one tackles and somehow you just know it's impossible, but you've got to find a way through mental and spiritual strength.
Did it seem quite real that you were on the start line when you got there?
I was absolutely full of fear for a long time leading up to it and through it. Somehow I had to face my fear and find a way to be at one in the most awe-inspiring environment on earth, this wonderful great wilderness that we were so honoured and privileged.
How soon after starting did you lose sight of the other team, and did that make you feel alone or lonely?
Very quickly, but of course I was with Pete.
Yep.
And the penguin Gaius, our team. Actually, I didn't mind that at all. We had 360 degrees to the horizon with nothing but just snow, and I quite liked that because it was being really part of the wilderness, and there was this wonderful oneness and kind of all that was also nothing.
So did everyone's ski marks just go off in different directions?
No, at first everybody was following the same line, but a little bit later on it was very much navigating using compass and GPS and the sun, shadows and the wind and the sastrugi and everything.
Did you, what was your work schedule quite rigorous, or did you sort of race for a few hours, stop, race for a few hours, sleep?
Oh no, you do a long day, but stopping was the hardest thing of all, because if you stopped for anything more than 10 minutes you got so cold that you couldn't do anything. You had to just really shove in food and drink and then get on as rapidly as possible, and even then it took 20 minutes, half an hour for your hands to actually come back after a stop. So you kind of longed to stop but actually dreaded it as well.
So both you and Pete managed to keep each other's determination and motivation going, just by kind of pushing and pulling?
One of us had to be strong all the time. That was the important thing.
Who was that?
Well, sometimes it was me, sometimes it was him.
So you never ever sort of, did you ever think you weren't ever going to make it en route?
No, I don't think I did actually. I knew it was always going to be it, but somehow I couldn't see it for a long time. It just seemed to take forever. I mean, there was the 2 years building up of the training, and then on the event itself it was always something in the future, and then all of a sudden it appeared and it was there.
So did you get sort of hair on the back of your neck stand up when you did eventually get to the centre? And like you just expressed, 2 years of hard work. Was it just a release of all those emotions?
It was, and yet it wasn't so much that one moment, because we still had work to do. We had to send off the peace messages, and we had the ceremony for peace, which was, to me, the whole important thing. So actually that happened over a few days while we were there. So it was a kind of continuing event. So in a way it wasn't that one moment, but just the whole thing was just timeless too.
So Team Southern Lights' mission to the South Pole was all about reading peace messages.
It was about carrying the 1,300 peace messages that people, many children from around the world, but a lot from Britain, had given us, had entrusted us with their precious heart messages to try and make a difference to help the earth. So all these individuals had said, right, this is my message from my heart. This is how we're going to help the earth. So we were carrying all these, which gave us wonderful strength to actually try and get there, to take and express from the South Pole.
And hopefully, seeing that you were in the centre of the world, per se, the magnetic centre.
The bit where the Earth spins around,
yes,
the axle.
The axis.
Yeah.
Do you think being able to say those peace messages from that point of the Earth would truly sort of penetrate the rest of the Earth as we know it, and society, and somehow get those emotions across to the world.
I think so. I mean, they made a difference, obviously, from the individual's point of view in their immediate environment, but I think, too, that the coming together and expressing them together is important. In the Tibetan way of sending messages of hope and peace from the furthest, highest places as a way of bringing peace and harmony to all beings. So they very much carried that thinking, and also the guidance that had led us to do our six-pointed star of peace through the earth, North Pole, South Pole, Andes, Himalayas and Pacific and Africa, creating a multidimensional six-pointed star of peace which encompasses the whole earth. I kind of see it as almost a blanket of light, as a way of just trying to help the earth.
So you do some pretty amazing things to change the world for the better. What do you think the rest of us can do to make the world a more peaceful place?
It's finding that freedom and peace within. It's perhaps the most, one of the most important ways, which so many of the Tibetans, particularly His Holiness the Dalai Lama, our patron, show as a shining example. If you can find that peace within, find that freedom within, doesn't matter what your individual physical circumstances are, your body, your environment, whatever, it's that inner peace that actually sends out to the environment all around you, and I think that's just a really exciting thought. So every single person, whatever their circumstances, the more challenges the better, because you're really pushing to find that inner peace and that inner strength, and then each and every person is making a difference in their own way, which is just wonderful. It's magic, because we can all do it. We're all responsible.
So how did you become passionate about trying to focus on your work that then helps Tibet?
It was one of those things I just felt to the heart level. Here, I need to help. There's so many things around the world that need help, and Tibet somehow called to me for whatever reason. And I thought, right, yes, I'm going to help them. Everywhere needs help. You just got to go for one or go for a few and just really do what you can.
So has writing your book helped you in any way?
Oh, certainly. It helps you bring clarity,
Right.
Yes.
Do you enjoy writing?
I absolutely love the writing. I'm not very good on all the editing process of having to cut it and change it and everything, but the actual writing is wonderful.
Warm Hearts,
Cold Hands, Warm
is your
Hearts.
second book.
Indeed, yes.
And did you find the process of writing this book was different to the first book?
I had to do this one much quicker. This one took 8 months, and Cry from the Highest Mountain took 3 years. But I actually liked the focus. It was sitting down 16 hours a day, doing nothing, ignoring the rest of the world, and writing. That was great, actually.
Well, you've got a pretty amazing view from your office up there in order to write the book.
Yeah.
And Hammer Vale is an amazing place to be able to get away from all that.
Yes.
But
yeah.
do you ever wish you could, I mean, maybe your third book, would you ever want to write a book from within Tibet as a location?
Maybe. I'm open to all things. Yes, wherever I'm led to.
After this challenge, you're planning to do something in Africa.
We've got the final point of the six-pointed star of peace, which is in Africa, on the roof of Africa, near the equator. So we'll be Kilimanjaro.
And has
In the near
your
future.
body and mind recovered from the South Pole challenge, and is it ready for the next challenge?
I think it's actually still recovering from the South Pole. These sort of things, with all the build-up, take a huge amount out of you. But then it's all on the path of life, and makes one what one is. So it's a matter of regrouping, getting some fitness going again. At the age of 60, I was the fittest I'd ever been in my whole life before going to the South Pole. Somehow I've got to try and get back to some of that, to, as you say, to start again. As a child, I wanted to climb a mountain and write a book, and that took me 50 years, and I did achieve that. But somehow this was never my dream. I was just kind of guided and open, and this was what I was meant to do. But I really feel that, yes, this is where I'm meant to be. This is the work in life that I'm meant to be doing. And that is the big secret, I think, that's helped me and given me energy just to try and follow that thought, that this is it. So in a way, I haven't got any pre-planned ambitions after that, but just to share the extreme privilege that I've had to be in these wonderful places and carry people's messages, just to kind of share that with anybody that's interested, and to try and help and inspire.
So maybe apart from your children and your grandchildren, what would you say has been your greatest achievement to date?
Oh, golly, being alive.
Right. All right.
Just holding the aliveness, the vitality, and just knowing where I'm meant to be in the work that I'm doing, and whatever makes me exciting. I think I'm just really lucky to have found that.
So who inspires you to do what you do? Because clearly I'm inspired greatly by what you do.
Thank you.
But I wonder who does the same for you.
Oh, golly. Oh, it comes from all aspects of life sometimes, doesn't it? Sometimes you can just see some tiny little animal or some great big event or whatever it is. It comes from all directions. I think the big secret is, from my point of view, is just to try and keep open to all these messages of life that are there for you. You just got to see them. It's all there. You just got to keep your eyes open.
What advice can you give to those who have dreams to say how not to give up to follow them?
Read the books.
Read the books, get the advice, and get you to come and talk to them.
Yeah, but just hang on to dreams, and don't just see the end product, see the whole thing, just visualise it or sense it. Don't worry about the steps on the way.
Right.
If you've got the big thing that feels absolutely right, then just go for it.
Well, that's what I mean. You don't give up. But a lot of people could, like you said, oh, I like the idea, but I don't quite like the pain to get there.
Yeah, pain is just an attitude in many respects, isn't it? I mean, you can go through the biggest pain and find the biggest achievements, and it can be your hardest work. And it doesn't have to be huge, fantastic, great things. Wonderful achievements can be just in a small step, can't they?
Maybe just do the things that make you happy.
Yeah. Just follow that. Just sense inside, where should I be? Just be open to it and just listen. And the answers are always there. You've just got to be able to listen. Find that still place to listen. Find still times in your life, even just odd moments, so that you can then be true to yourself and know that, right, never mind what anybody else does, but this is where I need to be. This is where I can help as many people and help myself and follow my path.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Coach.
Enjoy your afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Hooray.